In 2013, one day I was walking and I asked myself, so I'm 38 already, and how many more days would I be there? And I said it's another 42 years is the best case, because the average life in my family has been around 80. And 42 years means into 300 days approximately is 12,000 plus days. Now in these 12,000 days, what do I want to do? And then subsequently a sequence of events happened. I spoke to my mother-in-law on a Sunday, and the following Monday she was not there. And then another event that happened was COVID, of course. I lost very good friends and family members. And the question that I have asked myself was, what if 2021 is my last year? Is this what I want to do? So first I decided that I'm going to resign. You may ask this question, was it an impulsive decision? Not at all. I was very clear of my financial commitments. I made a spreadsheet. What is the corpus I have? What are the responsibilities that I have? Everything is put to the level, greatest level of detail. And then when I looked at it, I saw that I have more than enough. By the time I left Nokia, my salary was approximately, I was touching 50 lakhs. My assets, I can say it was anywhere between 1.5 to 1.75 CR. When I quit my job, especially a high-paying job, many people had this question saying that, for her it's not a big deal. She has a husband and who will take care of everything. Maybe I'm a strong and independent woman. Always I had clear roles and responsibilities defined. Which financial commitment I have, which financial commitment he has. Here I want to get into details. So what are the primary needs for a human being? Is food, clothing, shelter. Education is not a primary need. Education is a secondary need. And the tertiary need is all your hobbies and your travel and whatever you call it. So we distributed our financial commitments also accordingly. So food and shelter he takes care. Education, I want to send my children to good schools. And then comes the travel and the hobbies and everything, all that is mine. And till date, more or less, we manage that way only. In my world, there is no retirement, only death is retirement for me. Till then, I will be doing something or the other, pursuing my passion, whichever is that, like, mentoring startups or writing a novel or good for a travel, all these three. Main reason that I resigned was my 24 hours, I wanted to decide what I wanted to do. The corpus that I have, you may wonder that, will it be sufficient to meet all the expenses? I do earn from the consultancy, and I earn anywhere 1/4 of what I was earning with the 1/4 of time that I invest there. And my corpus is growing. Today, my financial commitment or responsibilities is approximately 1.25 to 1.5 lakhs per month. And out of which 30% comes from the interest that I get. 40 to 50% I earn, and also the dividends that I have earned. So all put together, I'm able to manage it. I grew up in Visakhapatnam. I lost my father when I was 2 years old. So my mother was my mentor in financial decisions and everything. My investment journey has been pretty educational and interesting. I was not knowing multiple asset classes where we could invest. The only thing I knew was a savings bank, a recurring deposit and fixed deposit, and that's where I was investing. So to start with, when I was doing my MTech, I was getting a stipend of 1,000 rupees. So from that, I used to take a recurring deposit of 200 rupees. And 800 rupees used to be for my expenses. When I joined a job in Motorola is when my mother mentored me. And she told me it's time for you to expand to real estate. And that's how we purchased the site in Hyderabad. And same thing when my son was born in Visakhapatnam. And later when my daughter was born in Visakhapatnam. Now today, if I have to sum up everything, the Hyderabad one, it must be approximately 45 lakhs. And the Visakhapatnam, the first one that we invested, is around 1 CR. And the second one is around 60 lakhs. And then in 2009 or 10, I saw a group of my colleagues discussing with some investor. And then they told me that there is something called as mutual funds. To be honest, till then I did not know. So I started something called a SIP, Systematic Investment Plan. And with the then current understanding, I planned certain goals. And my goals are my children's education and their wedding. and then Corpus for my retirement. If I talk about the numbers, 25 lakhs each for their education, and my daughter's wedding may be 35 lakhs, and my son's wedding may be 20 lakhs. And for my Corpus, around 30 to 35 lakhs is what I planned then. I come from a family who are totally into teaching. They're all scholars, okay. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather himself, so when we were children, he used to sit with us and he used to tell us, anything in excess is poison. Overeating is poison, drinking too much water or fluids is poison. Likewise, too much of wealth is also a kind of, it comes into like an addiction of earning more and more and more. So you have to identify that tipping point. If I had continued to work in the corporate, to move out of Nokia in some other MNC or some other startup, definitely I would be earning a crore or more than that. Over a period of time, I have learned that the should in life is the biggest destroyer for your peace of mind. Let me elaborate that. You should be wearing a solitaire diamond. You should be driving a Mercedes car, or you should be going for international vacation. These shoulds, they are the ones that take away the peace of mind. So I identified my trap, that am I getting into that trap? And whenever I get into the trap, I remember my paternal grandfather, who instilled the values in us that anything more is poison. So don't, look at quality of life versus standard of living. So today, if I look back, the corpus that I have created, I'm sure has touched anywhere between 4 crores to 4.5 crores. So, and it is going to grow only. So that way I was very confident in the choices I have made. Now I understood a little bit about mutual funds, equity. So 40% of my investment is there. Now 40% my real estate, and 20% would be, like emergency fund, which are fixed, reliable funds like fixed deposits or debt funds kind of a thing. To summarize my 52 years of my life, I would say that I have always managed my life very responsibly. At the same time, ensured I had that kind of adventure. I brought a balance with responsibility versus living life to the fullest. And people and professionals and founders ask me, what's an advice that you can give to us? What I would say is, you should approach any decision from 2 streams. One is pragmatic and the other is emotions. I'm not saying compromise on either, but one has to be clear from the practical point of view, what are your responsibilities? And can you create that kind of a corpus or income which is sustainable to handle your responsibilities? And the second aspect is emotions. Are you pursuing what you want? So my context here is, are you becoming a slave just to meet your responsibilities? My recommendation is, please bring that balance both from the practical point of view and the emotional side of view, because balance is possible.